Hey all you Switch fans, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to do sort of a micro deal kind of video. A lot of times the eShop has deals that will drop that only have a date of maybe less than 4 or 5 days that is even valid. So I thought this would be a good way to be able to talk about those kinds of occasional deals. Because otherwise I'm not going to include them in the longer deal videos, because I really want those longer deal videos to have a long shelf life of at least a week or so that people can stop in on those videos and see deals that are completely still valid. So this will just be a way for me to cover the ones that sort of slip through the cracks. Sorry to be so long-winded. I just wanted to explain quickly how it's going to work. Next time I won't have this whole explanation. So let's check out these deals. All three of the games that I'm going to talk about today, they all end on June 10th for their expiration date for the deal. So if you're seeing this at that point, you can go and click off. Otherwise, you could continue watching just to sort of get my thoughts on what I think of these games. So first we have Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling. Bug Fables is by far one of my favorite Switch games, like maybe top 10, top 20. But if you love the Paper Mario games or Super Mario RPG, you are going to absolutely adore Bug Fables. The game unashamedly completely cribs that whole sort of structure that the Paper Mario games has. When I say Paper Mario, of course, I mean the original one and the Thousand-Year Door. So it uses a very similar combat system, a very similar way of building the environment around you and the way the story is told. But if, like me, you are longing for a return to that style of Paper Mario, you are going to be in absolute heaven with this one. Now, there are some twists on the gameplay. They didn't completely just copy and do nothing different. So in Bug Fables, you actually have a party of up to 3 of these characters, these bugs. And it isn't like Paper Mario where you have one main character and you just have an assistant character. No, all 3 of these characters have their own special moves, their own HP, their own magic points. So all 3 are fully fleshed out with unique abilities and ways that they contribute to your team. And the other twist on the gameplay is now you can swap out the characters for the way they are lined up in the row, which will affect maybe what type of moves they can do. It also influences the enemies on who they're going to most likely attack first. So whoever you put in the front is more likely to be the one who's going to take most of the attacks. So you might want to put like a strong defensive character there in some moments. And you can even have some abilities that will aggro that character and really focus the attacks on that guy. The game also pulls the amazing badge system out of the Paper Mario games. If you're not familiar, basically you would collect these badges and you could apply them to your character if you had enough badge points. These would modify all kinds of things. Maybe just basic stats could be modified, or maybe you would get a unique new move. Here in Bug Fables, though, they are known as medal points and medals. But the functionality is basically the exact same. And the one thing I really appreciate about Bug Fables is it is not a paper gimmick style game. Paper Mario, as you know, has really pushed into sort of just very gimmicky in the whole, hey, it's made out of paper thing. Whereas originally Paper Mario was it was more about the fact that, yes, it looked like paper, but it was so that the whole game had a sort of fantasy storybook-like feel. And this game goes right back to that. Again, it's very storybook-like. There's no gimmicks on the whole paper thing. These bugs are actually super charming. One of the first apprehensions I had when going into this game was thinking, well, I like the Paper Mario games, but that's because I'm already connected to the characters in the Mario universe, and I was worried that whether or not these bugs could be just as endearing. And the good news is that, yes, they are absolutely endearing. The dialogue is really witty and funny. They're super charming. As silly as it sounds, you really find yourself caring about these characters and their backstories and where they've come from and how they've come together as a team. But the basic mission is you are searching for the Everlasting Sapling, which essentially will grant immortality to any bug that eats of it. And of course, there will be all kinds of twists and turns that kind of change maybe what your true goal is. But the game is chock full of content, and it even has a lot of great post-game content with new missions that start actually after you beat the main story. Even right now talking about it, I honestly want to fire it up again and go back to some more of those post-game missions and see what I've missed. But yeah, I could just ramble on and on about Bug Fables, one of my favorite Switch games of all time. I think it's completely worth full price. If anything, I think even full price is a bargain for this game. But right now, it is 50% off for only $12.49. That is matching its previous low, and this game does not go on sale too frequently. So again, if this is something that interests you and you don't want to be patient, now is the time to pick it up. Okay, so moving on, the second game I want to recommend is Super Sportmatchen. If you are a fan of old retro style track and field games like the old track and field games, then you are really going to like Super Sportmatchen. Now, this game takes that sort of retro feeling track and field games, but it adds a lot of goofy twists to all the different games. So let's say instead of like a shot put, this game actually has you throwing a capybara, the animal. So you have him on a leash and you're spinning him around and you toss him and then you activate a parachute and he lands on a target. So in some other sports, like in basketball, there's a vulture on top of the basket, and you have to deal with the vulture also messing with you while you're trying to play the game of basketball. And then when you do the martial arts section, it's actually sort of just like a pillow fight, and there's actually like a dodge and parry move you got to learn to navigate that sort of competition. Or when you're running, instead of running, now you're on a boppy ball and you're bopping along and you got to time your bounces to make it over hazards and obstacles. Basically, if you're getting the gist, it's all kinds of track and field games, but with really goofy, silly twists on them. But this game is just such an underrated, stellar little party game or a game to play with your kids. It is not a good single player experience. I mean, you would probably enjoy it for a while, but I think playing against the AI would get a little bit old. There are leaderboards, so again, there is a little bit something there that you could sort of press towards with the single player portion. But this is, in my opinion, this is strictly a party game or a family game experience. But my kids absolutely love this one. We were completely addicted to it the first few months that we bought it. Just wanted to play it all the time. One word of warning, I will say that among the different mini games, there are a couple of duds, which I think from this style of game, you almost kind of expect that. But thankfully, when you set up these sports, you can actually just pick from the list of the sports that you want to show up in your tournament. So you can give those other sports a try. Maybe you'll feel differently about them than I did. But if not, then you can, again, set up your own tournament with your own sports so you never have to touch the ones that you don't enjoy. And Super Sportmatchen is currently 87% off for $1.99, which is phenomenal. I would not recommend this game at full price again because I think the single player component is so weak. But at this price for a party, or if you got a family play games with, I think it's an absolutely stellar deal. And the game does not go on sale super frequently. So again, maybe once every 3-4 months, you'll see a sale on this. So you could wait, but again, if it sounds good to you, now might be the time to pick it up, and it's not gonna get any cheaper than that. Okay, so lastly, for this micro deal video, I'm gonna talk to you real quick about Rain World. Now, I'll make this really quick because I actually talked about this in a deal video back in April, so you could check that out if you wanna see some slightly fuller thoughts. But essentially, this is a Metroidvania where you play as a slug cat who is trying to find his family, and you are making your way through this grimy, super dangerous, industrial Metroidvania style world. The game has a really killer art aesthetic. It's just super interesting to look at. There isn't anything that looks quite like it. I love the main character of the slug cat. He's kind of adorable, and just that juxtaposition of this adorable little character having to venture out in this just horrific world is just really compelling. A word of caution though, Rain World is tough, like punishingly difficult. Thankfully though, not too long ago, they did update the game, and now there are 2 versions of the slug cat you can play with. One of those versions is much more aggressive if you want to enjoy that really difficult play style, but there's also one that you can play a little more conservatively with, and it makes the game just a tad bit easier. The game actually also has like a little 4-player arena mode. I personally haven't tried it, so I don't know if it's anything worthwhile or just a little throwaway thing, but that is there if you want to check that out. So this might be the last time I talk about Rain World for a while. I brought it up back in April because for some reason this game has only gone on sale like once every 2 years, but this is the second sale in just about a month and a half. So maybe this is going to be one of those type of things where this game is going to start going on sale frequently, but maybe not. Maybe for some reason we're getting 2 sales in a row and it's going to go back to waiting 2 years for it to go on sale again. So on the off chance that that's the case, this may be the best time to pick it up. It is 50% off, matching its previous low for $9.99. A solid deal for a very unique Metroidvania style experience. All right, guys, I hope you like this. Please let me know down in the comments below whether or not you like me to do these kind of micro deal videos so I know whether or not to keep making them in the future. Again, this is just a good way to talk to you about deals that have a very short window of expiration. And don't worry, I am currently at work on the next long deal video. I'm just waiting another day or 2 to see if some more compelling deals come along to have a real nice, big, meaty deal video for you. Thank you all so much. I love the support. And until next time, I hope you have great gaming, tricksters. Bye-bye.